RMTP on YouTube. Okay, so I'm pushing now. You should see something presently, Mark.
Okay, it says it's live. Are we good?
Did we actually get it back?
I think so.
Yeah.
Are we out of jail?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're
give
back.
people a few minutes to find the new chat.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
What a wild ride, folks. Boy, you
Let your
learned.
friends know.
Yeah, isn't technology wonderful?
What in the world just happened?
Let your
Yeah,
friends know
we
about the new
tested all
spot.
of these trailers. We
Yeah, it's
should've
funny
cast
because
YouTube.
Yeah.
it's funny. We uploaded all of these clips like separately, and they all passed the copyright like bots and stuff. So we went into this like not thinking we were going to have issues like this, but I guess we can't really guarantee that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm caught up and
Re-announcing.
yeah.
All right.
Because we were well into our spiel before I think Justin yelled at me, God, we just lost the stream. Well, sorry for the interruptions, folks.
Yeah, let's give them a few more minutes to catch up. We have 630 that have figured it out.
that have hardy souls who have stuck around. Hopefully the rest will soon learn and reload and find their way back in. But
they had to do more than reload. They had to go to a new page.
Yeah, there's no reloading. They have to find a whole new link. So
oh really?
it's gonna because that because you stopped it. Now that's its own video now.
Okay. I thought that if you just go to youtube.com/discotekmedia/live, that's the stream. That's what I'm looking at passively. Anyway, we were talking about Charavan. We announced this at Christmas. All 51 episodes on Blu-ray. Now, which of you lucky bastards got to work on this show? Did any of you guys work on this one? Because it looks so cool.
This is a Logan one, right? This is like...
Yeah, this was mostly Logan.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, maybe in the future with these tokusatsu shows, we should have Logan on to talk about them.
Yeah, we should. We should if he's the guy that knows them inside and out. What charms me about all of these releases, particularly about Kamen Rider Black and RX, is just these were shot on 16mm film. They were made for standard definition television in the 80s. They were not meant to be seen in this clarity, but they still look so good. Like even,
well, I mean, that's like that Power Rangers thing where you could always tell like the Japanese footage because like it was always so much cooler looking than the shot on video stuff or whatever they had.
Yeah, even a lot of the stuff where it's like you can tell, okay, that's an optical effect, that's a miniature. Oh, I can see the strings. It's like they still sell it. It still looks so amazing.
I will say this one's kind of fun, and I'm pretty sure it's this one. We were working on Project Echo, and we had no idea we'd ever get this. And there's a joke in the interview, the big long file of Project Echo, and it has interviews with all of these magazine people at the end. And there's one editor in there who says he's like a parody of Shorovan. And I can't remember what the parody's called, but I remember me, Logan, and Mark trying to figure out this parody and going to David. And the fact that we eventually got this one was crazy to me.
That is, I mean, that was a whole new era. Like the Tokusatsu fandom, I give them a lot of credit. They've been patient and careful and slowly built the audience from the ground up. And now it's possible for them to have nice things, and it's our delight and our privilege to bring you these nice things. So yeah, Space Sheriff Charavan. That's that. Yep.
I just wanted to point out that over 4/5 of the people that were watching have rejoined us on the new stream. So
that's excellent.
Thank you so much for hanging in there, guys. Really
yeah.
It.
Justin, I just want to point out every time you cut in and say, "Hey guys," I'm just like, "Oh crap, did we lose a stream?"
Sorry.
Well,
it's all right.
We did lose David. It looks like because his internet went out. It sounds like.
Okay, well he knows how to rejoin the call, so he should be able to get back in when his internet issue is sorted out. We can continue for the moment. And I did want to point out before we got going that more Tokusatsu is coming, guys. Don't you worry. It's just not ready yet. But don't you worry. It's coming. Just be patient. Next, we're going to stay on the live action tip for a while, and I think actually maybe we should try and kill time and wait for David, because we're going to be talking about a couple of new Nihon Nights titles. And I'm paging over to our call to see if David is back, and I guess he's not back. Well, let's watch the clip, our next clip, and then we'll we'll see what we can talk about. So check out this amazing trailer for a new Nihon Nights live action Japanese cinema title.
必要以上にでっかい女小泉梨沙と必要以上に小さい男大谷敦。そんな2人を人は学園の阪神巨人と呼んでいる。
ほんまこの2人お似合いやな。
似合ってへんわ。息も合ってるし合ってへんし
ほら合ってる。
偶然や。
あんたみたいなチェックお断りや。
選べる身分がでか女。
好きなんは認めるわけどな、私とあいつの身長差はこのフォーク1本分くらい。私にはめちゃめちゃでかい壁やねん。
あんたから恋の匂いがするわ。
このクラスの副担任を引き受けてくれることになった舞竹国海先生だ。
よろしくみー。
私大谷が好きや。
冗談やめろや。
小泉さんはいい子だ。でもこのまま放っておいたら誰かに持ってかれちゃうかもね。
どうせドアの落ちみちゃんや。
この夏噂のキュンジリームービーが誕生する。ラブコン。
キュンジにしそうや。
All right, I saw a little excitement for that in the channel, and that of course is the lovely Complex live action movie. So that's we're going to be bringing that to Blu-ray. Have we got David back yet? I think we have, haven't we?
Yes, I'm back. My
Yay!
internet decided to die on me. This is like weird. Very weird omens happening here.
Yeah.
Is this on anybody's bingo card? Like, hopefully you're getting a bingo out of this, because
yeah, we're struggling a little, but I can't help but notice that it seems like the entire audience that was watching before the disruption all came back. You guys are the best.
Wow, that's actually crazy. We're very, very glad.
Mm-hmm.
we got Discotek fans are the best fans. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Now, so David, our live action titles are one of your specialties. So was this something you worked on?
I authored it, but I didn't really work that much on this one. It was mostly Logan also who did the subtitles.
I worked on the video a bit because they gave this to us interlaced.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you
Actually,
know?
Little backstory. They couldn't immediately find. This was actually shot in HD. This was an early HD digital production. And then because this was still kind of the film era, they printed it to 35 millimeters, and that's what they showed in theaters. They couldn't find the HD master, so they did a transfer off of the 35 millimeter, and they sent it to us in HD, and we're like, guys, this looks worse than the old DVD. So we conferred with them. They're like, oh crap, you're right. Here's the HD master. So we got the HD master, and it looks like it should now. It looks pretty much exactly like it looked in the theater.
Oh yeah,
excellent.
It was a whole thing because we had to do a little bit of restoration on it because it came from a film scan. But then Justin was like, just scan it. We got the HD, and I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, it was a little rough, so we're happy to have avoided that. The show itself, it really is remarkable how they got actors that looked so much like the manga characters.
Yeah, that's something I do notice. Like, even the height disparity, which is like rather extreme for this kind of romance. It's like, wow, they found a really tall girl and a pretty short dude.
Yeah, and they were both, as actors, kind of famous for that. Teppei Koike had a really crazy run for a few years. He actually played a 14-year-old homeless kid in one movie.
Oh wow!
And it was kind of funny because he was clearly older than the actors that were playing his older siblings. But he's a short guy. It's just what happens. You get cast as a kid.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed when you sent the spec sheet over too is that this is not all that common to see either, where you get both the 2.0 and the 5.1 mix.
For these titles, they're more common than you'd think,
Okay.
but especially for more recent ones. We've been putting more like just the standalone movies, 5.1s and stereos. For example, Kamikaze Girls has both as well. Yeah, so if it's like a more modern-ish movie, then it's more likely you'll get both of them, and we always try to include both if we have them.
All right, so this one's coming out in March 2024, and we have got another live-action film project coming at you. So let's look at the trailer for that, and yeah, hopefully this one doesn't get us into hot water. But I guess we'll see, guys, huh?
Fingers.
Yeah.
翔さん、あなたは very nice のギャンブラーです。あんたも最高の爆中打だよ。
殺されたお父っつぁんが握っていた3枚の花札、2枚は消えたが残る1枚を消させてもらうよ。
I hope you like the title that I put on there, guys. The trailer they sent over was completely neutral. It didn't have a title at the end, so I tried to put something suitably seedy and goofy looking there. But yeah, this is Sex and Fury, the Pinky Violence title from the 70s. I hope you also...
Listen, there's nothing wrong with Times New Roman, Mike. You can make it work.
Yep. But yeah, Sex and Fury, one of the famous exploitation movies of the 70s. You got sex in my fury. You got fury in my sex. And yeah, this is actually the predecessor to the female Yakuza tale. So it's Reiko Ike playing the same character, Ocho Inoshika. And I also appreciated that big fight scene at the end where I really only had to use the censorship blob once. Other than that, it's really artfully photographed, and the not safe for work stuff is obscured by the tattoos she's wearing. It's kind of cool. But yeah, this is something that was heavily referenced directly in Kill Bill. This is one of those movies, and directed by Norifumi Suzuki. David, did you work on this transfer?
So the transfer itself was done by Toei in Japan. It is a new HD remaster of the film. I did work on the subtitles though, so I'm pretty familiar with it. So yeah, this movie, as Mike said, stars Reiko Ike, who is one of the queens of the Pinky Violence movies by Toei. You might recognize her from, like he also said, Female Yakuza Tale, but also Animal Classroom, the terrifying girls' high school movies. She was in, I think, most, if not all, of those movies as one of the main characters, anyway. And so she was in a lot of those movies with Toei Studio back then when they did a lot of these Pinky films. And yeah, the master looks great. If you saw our Female Yakuza Tale Blu-ray, it looks pretty much the same, except the color didn't need to be fixed for this one. It was already good off the bat. So we just went with it. It's looks gorgeous. It's pretty. Yeah, there's a lot of cool action stuff in it. A lot of good choreography, and it's got what's her name, Christina something in it. Also,
the model at the beginning who speaks the phonetic Japanese.
Yes, and she's also in a lot of not a lot, but a good few Pinky Violence movies from Japan. She had like a little period in her life where she starred in all these movies as well. So it's really interesting to see. Yes.
For people who don't know, what is Pinky Violence? Like,
Pinky Violence is like a period of Japanese cinema where they really needed to get people back in the in the theaters because the film industry was dying. TV was just taking it over. So Pinky Violence was, an attempt to get people back in the cinemas by, making stories with
the rest of that out.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
sex
very,
and violence,
very grungy, very grungy, a lot of nudity, a lot of sex, as you might, from the title of the movie, which, by the way, is not the Japanese, not even close to what the Japanese title of the movie is. I don't know who named it Sex and Fury, but I mean, it gets the point across, so it works.
What's the Japanese title?
The Japanese title is Furyo Anego Den Inoshishi no Shika Ocho, right? So it's like legend of like female delinquent boss Inoshika no Ocho. Inoshika no Ocho, yeah. So it's like more of a direct title of, but Sex and Fury is like more punchy,
Also, if you're not familiar with Pinky Violence, this era is very fondly remembered in Japanese cinema because basically young creatives were given the keys and just said, just make whatever you want. As long as it has boobs and blood, we will release it. So they got full reign, and this really ended up being a creative, a very fertile creative period for Japanese cinema.
Yeah, and, a lot of studios did it. Toei was one of them. Nikatsu was another big publisher of them. Pretty much the whole industry. Yeah, pretty much the whole industry was in that period did a lot of this stuff. They were just really desperate to get people back in the theaters.
And you can complete your Sex and Fury collection today by getting both movies from this franchise. 100% complete
today, but later in 2024.
Yeah. Not today. That's true. You're right, Justin. So those are some of our live action offerings that are coming up soon. Let's get back to the anime for one title that is a beloved old weird children's classic and surprisingly topical because of some work some other filmmakers did. We'll touch on that a little because it's kind of an amusing coincidence. But let's look at this trailer.
人々の生活の中には童話が生きています。美しい風土の中から生まれたアンデルセンの不朽の名作人魚姫が華麗なアニメーションとデンマークロケでここによみがえります。荒れ狂う嵐の中、人魚姫の恋は芽生えたのです。人魚姫、お前さんは人魚の尻尾の代わりに人間が歩くときに使う2本の足が欲しいのかい。生まれた日から待っていた人あなた。人魚姫と王子との愛と冒険の物語。爽やかな涙と明るい笑い。ファンタジックな世界に広がる海のメルヘン人魚姫。近代童話の父アンデルセンの没後100年を記念して東映動画が良い子に送るカラー長編漫画人魚姫にご期待ください。
Coming in spring break, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. I love this movie, man. Big fan. Big fan. And don't worry, there were questions when we reviewed this trailer. It's like, is this going to be safe for YouTube? I frame by framed it. You know, this movie was a little daring, but it doesn't go there. Doesn't go there. Not in the trailer. But yeah, big 70s movie. The original Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, the one with the less cheerful ending. And so, you know, will Marina find love, or will she be washed away with the tide? Well, you're going to have to watch to find out. But this is a new remaster, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, like, you know, Toei's been putting out all these really old movies in high definition in the past few years, and this is no different. This is a new, gorgeous, very, very nice HD remaster from the 35 millimeter. And yeah, it is the Little Mermaid that I mean, she's not Ariel, she is Marina. She is a different character. And I saw a lot of people talking about riff tracks. This is indeed the same movie that they just
as seen on riff tracks, like released last week. I was like, oh, that's a funny coincidence.
Timing is really funny. No connection, by the way, no connection.
We had no idea at all.
But yeah, so this does include the English dub as well as the Japanese, of course. The subtitles were touched up as well. And we even have a new trailer. We have the Japanese trailer on it, but also a friend of mine, Mitchell, he pointed me in the direction of an English trailer that was on some like bargain bin VHS tape, and we reconstructed it. Justin actually reconstructed it.
Oh boy!
In high definition, using the footage from the actual HD remaster. So it's now like brand new. Looks brand new. Looks nice. Another thing I want to note is that Mitchell also pointed me in the direction of the Laserdisc, which surprisingly had a lot better quality audio than what we got, which was just optical.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of these older remasters just use the optical audio, right, instead of magnetic audio.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we Salvatore let us use his Laserdisc to capture the audio, and so now we've got our release of it. We'll have very clean video and very clean audio. So look forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that English trailer.
You don't have to, choose one or the other.
Spring break.
Yeah, coming.
Spring break.
Cake.
This is the trailer with that really weird MPA logo, right? That we're trying to find. And and Justin was like, "Can anybody find this?" And then I just like remade it in like 20 minutes and gave it to him. He's like, "Did you just remake this?" I was like, "Yeah."
I think I remember that MPA logo. Yeah, that is like super simple. That's really funny.
That blue screen with the white stripe.
Yeah, it was a really sort of rare one.
Yeah, so just saw someone ask. There is just the Laserdisc audio. There's no optical. It's the same mix. There's nothing different about it. It's just, lower quality on the film.
I mean, that happens often. Like Street Fighter 2 is the same way, and we found the digital original of that as well, and that's why that sounds really good too. So that happens a lot, and it's one of those things where, like, if you know these films, you just know to look for stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong necessarily with optical audio off of the film. It's just lower fidelity. It's I think of it as kind of like that's the minimum. Like if you have that, you're okay. You can go forward, but you should look for a better master. If
there are certain cases in which the original mix is only available on film because they kept changing it over the years. But in this case, that's not what we have here. So.
Yeah, I mean, this actually happened with we forgot to point it out, but on the Urusei Yatsura OVA series, there's one episode on it that's sort of like a recap episode, but it's like full of music, and the audio on the original Japanese Blu-ray is all optical, and it's actually like it sounds far worse than the rest of it. But we were able to find the digital of that, which is actually true stereo, which is not like the only classic Urusei Yatsura TV related thing that's true stereo is this thing apparently, and we found that.
That's cool.
It's a similar thing, yeah.
All right, well let's keep on keeping on. Let's see what we got next. Well, that's what we got next. Here's a long detailed clip that we were forced to use because we couldn't get any other clip past the YouTube police. Let's see if this one passes muster. It'll be over soon. So that kind of gets the point across quick, right? More Sergeant Frog is coming, guys. In fact, not just more Sergeant Frog, all the rest of Sergeant Frog is coming to standard definition on Blu-ray. Every Frog has their day, and this is all of the remaining seasons, which is kind of an insane amount, like over 150 episodes in one big final set. So this, if you've been waiting to complete your collection, now's the time. And so this is in Japanese with subtitles on 3 discs. I understand that there are just a lot of really fun, just increasingly weird story arcs and mini stories and things happening in this show as it goes along. I mean, it's full of references as to begin with. It's a lot of fun. Coming out in 2024. So look forward to
every time we do a new volume. Mark proudly, explains that, in this season the creators have clearly lost their minds more.
Even more. And I can never remember which season has the disturbingly direct apt Chargeman Ken parody that lasts for an entire episode, but I think it is actually one of the earlier sets in this one. But that's in the mix if you want to look for it.
Might have been 4. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
they carefully recreate the whole thing.
Is this show? How many episodes total is this show?
Like 350, right? Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Well, apparently, also according to Mark, we're actually working on season 5 currently. We haven't gone to 6 and 7 yet, but he said that there's some good, like in between the insanity, there's actually some pretty good, compelling stuff in that one. So,
cool. Well, once again, we're bringing it to you. We're going to give you the opportunity to 100% get a perfect run on Sergeant Frog. So that's another thing that you can look forward to. And speaking of yet another long series that we're bringing to standard definition on Blu-ray, this is something that we've been promising for years, and we finally caught up. So let's show you this wonderful opening to this next series. We are super guys.
Yeah, we are super guys, and you too can be super guys if you want to complete your Metabots collection.
Yeah, we've teased this before. We've talked about it before. It's taken a while to get us all the way, but this is the final set, the second season of the Japanese version of Metabots. Burn, Fiery Soul, Metabot Spirit.
On our last stream, someone asked when this was coming, and I was like, wait, wasn't it out already? And it was because we had actually finished the Blu-ray of it some time ago. What had happened was, and I'd completely forgotten about this, in the US, Metabots, the first Metabots series was split into seasons 1 and 2, and then Metabot Spirit was released as season 3. So when it came time to release this second series in Japanese, we had to go back to Japan and we're like, what do we call this? And they went, and then they broke into a glistening sweat and had to go all the way back to the original creators and go, what do we call this? So this is that's why it took all this time, is because they had to go back to committee and figure out, what the hell do we call this in English? Metabot Spirit.
So all that time you were waiting was just to figure out the title.
Really? Wow, that's quite a story.
It happens sometimes,
What's the first season called? The Japanese season?
I think it's just called Metabot Seasons 1 and 2, like the complete Japanese on our set anyway.
Yeah.
The Japanese title is Metarot, and they realized that is not exactly a marketing savvy title in English, but you know.
But that's very interesting.
We're actually going to call them Metarot, just faithfully, but the Japanese licensor was like, you should call it Metabots instead, and we're like, all right, whatever.
I mean, that is the title people know.
Yeah. And the true believers, the super fans who have been waiting for this, I know you're out there. Every show is someone's favorite. They understand. They know what this is. And the good thing is it's right around the corner. This is coming out in March, so you won't have long to wait for it. And once again, you can 100% your Metabots collection from Discotek by both getting the English version and the uncut Japanese version. And another kind of keystone of this release is this is probably going to be the last time for at least a while that we're going to really tackle a longer show for kids, right? Because those are tough to do.
Yeah, and do they wear out the translators.
Yeah. It's not even a matter of it can be hard to find an audience. They maybe don't sell as well as other titles. It's a matter of, oh god, it's like 36 episodes. All in one.
At best.
All right.
Well, I mean, I think Frog is a testament to that it's just so much of that, and it's all puns and jokes and stuff, and like some of that stuff, like you have to be a really savvy translator to translate it in a way that makes sense to somebody in English. That it's not even direct, right? You have to be like, well, what kind of pun can I put here that's similar to the original and all that, and then imagine that's multiplied over 300 episodes. Like it just burns people out.
God bless for Saint. Yeah, yes, those subtitles were, I believe, done mostly for streaming already, so they were already done, already good. We just needed to give it the old Discotek polish,
Oh, that's right. That was Collis, right? I think.
Yeah, it was Collis for Daisuke back in the day, if anyone remembers that Daisuke website.
Sure do.
But there's the thing is, we had to make what they did fit what Funimation did, because we started off using Funimation's subtitle script, and they don't necessarily match. So poor Logan has had to go through this insanely talky, very on-screen text-heavy show and just turn them into something that meets our standard, which they weren't bad, but it's still a lot of work. And so, Sergeant Frog is probably going to take us a little while.
It was mostly things like, we always do names in the Western order, and those subtitles we all did them in the Japanese order. So we'd have to, and there's like 1,000 characters in Sergeant Frog, so we'd have to go through everyone and change them all. That's the bulk of it. And then there's some names like Kogoro, which on Funny's subtitles were you've just Kogoro, the letters, but on the streaming subtitles they're all 556. What his name is in numbers, because he's like, it's like a code name or something. So all that kind of stuff, we have to make sure that they matched our seasons 1 and 2 releases because of using different subtitle sources. But anyway, we're talking about Sergeant Frog while Metabots is on the board, so I'm going to shut up.
And we got a bunch of stuff we still got to get through, and it's 10:20 p.m. So let's keep going. Let's do this. Let's fire up the licensing rescue mobile.
Floor it, Mike.
right. So coming back to home video is more Nanaha. We're gonna keep that train going. It's Magical Girl Lyrical Nanaha A's. So more two-fisted magical girl tales of the Time Space Administration Bureau. And well, you guys are quiet.
Well, I was just going to point out that if anybody wonders about the logo for this series, it's like licensed or mandated, so that's why it's simple.
This has come up before. Yeah, that's because people are very fond of the original 2000s logo, and it's like nope, they've done a brand refresh, and this is what the official logo is now.
Yeah, at least it matches the movies though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha A's. It is the second season of the Nanoha franchise and a direct continuation. This is the same upscale as Japan got. Looks pretty good. And, you know, it has both Japanese and English dub. The old English dub that was released prior.
Yeah, it originally came out from Genion, I think. And
yes.
I think we're trying to get together a good package of extras, but we're being a little cagey about that because these are still subject to licensor approval, so we're not going to talk about what's on there yet until we know we can. So it's a little early for that.
Right. I will say that if we can include everything on here, then it's going to be a very packed disc.
Oh, that's awesome. It's exciting. So that's coming later in 2024. We got a whole bunch. We're coming into the home stretch, and we got some stuff that is going to make a lot of 2000s kids pretty happy. I think that's where most of this stuff is coming from. So anything else to say about Nanaha A's, or should we go on to the next one?
Well, I always say this. I say this every time we put out a Magical Girl title. If you want more, you got to support it. It's one of those genres that's, unless it's like Sailor Moon or something, it's not exactly the best selling. So, you know, every sale for this genre really does prove like that there's interest, because I mean, historically speaking, it doesn't sell very much. So if you do want to support the genre and see more of these kinds of releases, you have to support it. You know, vote with your wallet, as they say. I have to repeat this every time, and so far, at least, it's kind of been effective. So I hope that keeps going. That Magical Girl genre gets more love in the West, because there's some really good stuff out there, and hopefully
David keep reciting his magical incantation.
But yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot to love about it, about the genre. So if you want to see more, you just gotta support it.
Now do the dance.
Oh God, don't make me do the dance.
We don't have cameras, otherwise I'd totally make you do the dance. But instead of that, we're going to roll our next clip. My God, what an opening. Absolutely crazy stuff. That's Futako Alternative. Mark did point out that I haven't seen this show, so he was quick to point out that the opening does not have a lot to do with the show. I do know enough about this show to know that it's the same characters as the previous Futakoi, which was just a harem comedy. Only this is like the main dude starts a detective agency, and they're like his sidekicks and stuff. But Futakoi Alternative is twice as good as the first Futakoi. The other thing I know about it is that when we announced Futakoi, people immediately started asking for this, and they were like, "Well, this is the good one." So we're bringing it to you.
Yeah, it also is partly made by Ufotable, and they always, like in their earlier days, did a bunch of really cool stuff. Like all the eye catches are or like claymation, and the endings are too. So that's one of these.
And characters reimagined as players in a detective action series. There's innuendo. It does have that aspect of the harem series going on, and directed by one of the Garden of Sinners directors. That's something that Justin pointed out. Just like, oh, that's good. So that's the mark of quality right there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny because like it has such a ridiculously over the top and at some points gross sense of humor, and then it gets quite serious in places. It's a interesting show.
Really seems
subtitle only. Like what,
yeah.
Yeah, subtitle only. Also, it's a HD upscale like the first Futakoi was.
Yeah,
looks really clean. So.
Man, it seems like a wild ride, and that is going to be coming our way later in 2024. And I can't resist because if you get the original, which obviously you can see what's going on, now you can own the whole franchise, 100% perfect run, baby. So when the time comes, you can complete your Futakoi collection, and it'll be twice as nice. So got a few more clips for you. Here is the next one, keeping the dream of the 2000s alive. Let's see who remembers this one. It's titles like this that I really love watching the chat because so many people are just flailing and trying to figure out, this looks familiar, it looks familiar, it looks familiar, and they can't quite get it. But then the true believers start chiming in, and they recognize it immediately. It's Tonagura. It's another harem comedy from the 2000s coming back to home video. And this is in English for the first time. This one, it was before streaming was really a big deal. It never got a home video release from the publishers of the 2000s, and we're bringing it to you. Upscaled to high definition.
Time to get dramatic and girly. Well, this is like in that era where there's a big crash, right?
Yeah.
And so it just never got picked up by anybody.
Yeah, it fell into that gap. And if you're not familiar with the show, the conceit of it is kind of amusing. Like the main character is sort of the girl next door, and she has the big dream of, oh, my childhood best friend who I always had a little crush on is moving back to town, and I can see him again, and he's all grown up, and he's like an unrepentant pervert.
Yeah, I think the title of this anime is like from Tonari Gurashi, which is like living next door. So it's like pretty, not subtle about that.
Well, I mean, it opens with a panty shot. That's that's what you're getting with this kind of thing.
Subtlety here.
Yeah. But you know,
I mean,
detail
he's literally groping the main character on the cover.
on the cover.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think you know.
All right, so that is coming later in 2024. We're coming into a last few big announcements, and these are big ones. You're going to want to stick around for these. But before that, we got a couple of things that we want to circle back on. One of them is the Digimon releases that we announced last year, because I'm sure some of you are like, wait a minute, where are they? So did you guys want to talk about them, or what's holding them up?
Why don't you take these?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take this. So Digimon, right now, the movie is in approvals, and will probably be in approvals for a while. The unfortunate thing is about Digimon is when we announce it, it's probably going to take a while for it to come out, because Digimon is such a big property that there's a lot of people involved who have to approve it and look at it and say, yep, this is good, go for it. So it'll probably take a while. So the movie is still in approvals. I can tell you though that the second season in English is approved, so we should see that in the next couple release cycles, somewhere in there. I don't think it's going to be in the next one or the one that was just solicited, but it will probably be in the next one. So look out for that.
There's a few things we still need to fix, but other than that, they're mostly ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, classically, what is holding these up is not us, but the fact that we're still getting the packaging is still in approvals, and like some of the materials is still in approvals. But like I said, season 2 has been approved, so you should see that sooner rather than later. Movie, I'm not sure. I couldn't even speculate on when that will be approved, but I'm hoping soon. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it's all in progress. We're not trying to hold it back or anything. It's just we just got to wait.
We're not denying you.
Go.
We didn't throw these down the well and forget about them. They're just gotten hauled up a little, but they're still on the map, and they're coming towards us. So just be patient. There are also a couple of other titles that we've previously announced, and I saw folks wondering in the chat if we were going to get release dates for these yet. Not just yet. We do, of course, hope that you've been watching IGPX Remastered on Toonami last several weeks. Yeah, it looks really cool. And last several weeks, it's been running on Toonami, so you've been able to get a sample of it that way. The other series, Chie the Brat from the great Isao Takahata, that it's just not out of the oven yet, as the caption says.
IGPX, the packaging and stuff for that has been approved, and the discs are finished, so we're just waiting for the final thumbs up for that one. So that one should also be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, same with Chie, actually. Yeah, we're just waiting on like final thumbs up, and they should be off to the races.
All right, great. Okay, so that's that little bit. Also wanted to do the call to action. Don't forget, guys, actually one of the main ways we get information out about our releases, besides panels like this, is we have an email newsletter. You can sign up just by going to our website at discotekmedia.com. You will be pretty quickly presented with a prompt to enter your email address, and then you'll start getting news about what we do pretty frequently. And to have a fun, colorful graphic, I went to Adobe Stock and typed in anime email, and this is what it spat out after a few terrible AI generated things. This is actually by a real artist, so this anime style girl is telling you to sign up for the Discotek Media email newsletter at discotekmedia.com. Yeah, it is actually really cute. I like it. But
we should mention that we now have some exclusive stuff in there, and in fact, our friend Coop just wrote a really nice article about fast food grifters in the latest issue. So make sure you sign up, and if you go to the website and you don't see it, turn off your pop-up blockers. We've gotten some people saying that they don't see it, and that's what's causing it.
Yeah. How many approximately how many subscribers do we have now? It's over 1,000, right, at this point?
Oh, it's well over 2,000.
2,000. Oh yeah, that's growth. Get in on it, guys. It's a great way to keep current on our releases.
Yeah, especially if you're not down with the whole social media thing. I know some people aren't. Yeah, it's a very easy and compact way to digest everything that we talk about in these streams on other socials, etc. So it's a good thing to do for us too, because it really shows how many people are interested in what we do. So if you haven't signed up, go for it. It's free. You can unsubscribe if you're not into it after. no, and there's no need to worry about anything like no spam or whatever. They come,
Do not
I think,
sell.
they come like I think every few weeks is the rate we're doing them. So
yeah, we don't. And the thing is, too, we don't announce everything at these panels because sometimes releases come in between the panels, and we just have to put it out there. So if you're hankering to know what's coming out on a discotheque day between the panels, would be the way.
All right.
To be fair, that's not happening a ton.
Mm-hmm. But it has been known to happen. Anyway,
it does happen though.
Speaking of our releases, just to kind of catch you up, this is what we've been up to the past few months and looking forward to the future. This past December at Christmas time, these were our releases. Some great stuff in here. The SBT Lasner series, Overman King Gainer, the Shoujo classic Lady Georgie, Lupin the Third 7 Days Rhapsody, Mazinger Z, Bella Humanoid Monster, and of course Fist of the North Star, Legend of the True Savior, Legend of Fierce Fighting, OVA.
I saw some people say online that they've been finally getting their December 2023 releases. The holidays really backed up the supply chains and all that, so that's why they're shipping a little later than anticipated. Mm-hmm. I just got my Lady Georgie in today, actually. I'm still waiting on my Bella, though.
That's exciting. Well, the one I'm waiting for is actually, it's part of this month's pre-orders, so I may not be seeing it right yet. But the one I'm excited about from this another very strong slate is, of course, Lovely Complex, because that has our brand new English dub that we made with Sound Cadence on it. And that is just a great shoujo series, a wonderful comedy from the 2000s. Upscaled really beautifully, brand new English dub. Of course, we've got another Lupin the Third special. We've got Nanaha Season 1, that final Urusei Yatsura TV set, The Fast Food Grifters, Fatal Frame, and Kurokami. I like
Fatal Frame's pretty cool. And Kurokami's packed with stuff, right? Like, it's got a lot of cool stuff on it.
Yeah, it's got like dozens of ending variations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it has like an OVA episode in between. Tons of clean endings and stuff, or like clean opening, clean endings. A lot of stuff. The original Nanoha has a bunch of extras as well. I don't even remember how many there were, but it's pretty packed disc too. And Fast Food Grifters has a lot of cool stuff, like extensive liner notes and essays and stuff, because it's a movie that
over 2 hours of behind the scenes on that one.
Yeah, it has a lot of behind the scenes. It has essay. It has like a karaoke like song thing. It's pretty neat.
And Urusei Yatsura has a lot of episodes. So if you like a lot of episodes,
it sure does.
Yeah,
the last 25% of a pretty long and classic series. So those are our releases for this month. For next month, this is a crazy slate. This has just got something for everyone. You got your Tokusatsu series. You got Rainbow, which is a prison drama. You've got the Ghost of AIC coming back in the form of Handmaid May and Duel. Classic Puss in Boots movie. Puss in Boots Travels Around the World. Kamikaze Girls, live action film, and of course, Extreme Dinosaurs.
Extreme.
They're dinosaurs to the extreme. But yeah, it's another strong slate coming in February. Looking forward to a lot of these. And in March, you know how this game is played. We've been teasing the March releases all panel, and most of them you know about. There's a mystery title we haven't talked about yet. If you wait around a little bit longer, we're almost there. And of course, the final Fist of the North Star, Legend of the True Savior movie, Legend of Kenshiro. That is coming out in March, and with the stupid theme I've been playing on, the 100% run, you can complete your collection of Fist of the North Star, Legend of the True Savior movies and OVAs by getting this final release coming in March. And these are pretty cool movies. They're well animated. They're retellings of parts of the Fist of the North Star legend. There's some new material in there, and of course they have a wonderful new English dub from our friends at Sound Cadence. Mm-hmm. And speaking of English dubs, we've got some stuff to talk about.
People have been asking. My God, people have been asking.
Good. I'm glad they've been asking. We're running a little bit late. That disruption kind of disrupted our flow. The thing about this dub clip is we tried everything. We tried to flip it upside down. We tried to mirror it. We tried to discolor it. We tried to pitch shift it. We could not get it past YouTube's copyright ID system, and we were afraid that if we included it in the stream, it would shut our channel down like what actually happened earlier. We didn't want that to happen. But we want you to watch it before we start talking about it. So if you go over to the Discotek Media Twitter right now, Mark, if you haven't yet, please post the clip. We can link to that in the chat as well. And in fact, I can see the chat getting linked. You got about a 1 minute, 90-second clip of another 2000s anime that a lot of people really liked. And it turns out some of this is going to be in English, and we're going to talk about it in just a minute. But I want people to have time to go over there and watch it and come back. And I see people are starting to react. How much time should we give them, guys? It's 10:43. Want to give them another 30 seconds?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'm watching it myself.
The show they watch.
You're actually watching the clip yourself. Cool. Oh, this is very exciting because, and I'll tell you, this is something that we've kind of been puzzling over how to release and what we were going to do with it, because it's really sort of a non-standard thing. But it's so cool that we got to do this, and we can't wait to give you the skinny in about 10 seconds. And I see lots of people saying lots of fun little things there. But yeah, as people in the chat have started chanting and chanting and chanting, it's Katekyo Hitman Reborn. All right, the 2000s shonen classic about the heir to the crime family who has to be taught to be an ultimate hitman by the best hitman in the world, who is a baby. And this is actually going to be a special fan disc because, you know, Reborn is over 200 episodes, and they're like, they said it couldn't be done. They were right. What ended up happening was that's too many episodes to dub in English. It wasn't feasible. Our friends at Kocha Sound dubbed 3 fan favorite episodes as a test. It turns out they're huge fans of this series. They really wanted to do it, and we came to terms with them to do it. So they dubbed episodes 1, episode 20, and episode 77, and those are going to be included on this Blu-ray disc in English. So you're going to get a really big taste of what a Reborn dub would actually be like. My favorite thing about this release, though, that's coming is there was a single Reborn OVA episode that was not part of the TV license. And the thing is, it was kind of an orphan. It was too short to just license and sell on its own. But what we did was we licensed it and included it on this disc to kind of fill out the Reborn special fan disc. And Kocha Sound dubbed that in English too. So you're going to have 4 episodes total. They are going to be upscaled to look as wonderful as possible on this Blu-ray. It's going to be a nice low-price disc for Reborn super fans. And I'll tell you, it's kind of cool that this came together, because this is something that has kind of been taking shape behind the scenes for a long time. I know enough about the Reborn situation that I can tell you that when we first announced this, just as a couple of big jumbo standard def on Blu-ray releases, it was not just Kocha. There were like multiple studios who were reaching out to us that were like, okay, we'll do this cheaper than usual. We'll do this much cheaper than usual. How can we make this work? And the problem is, hundreds of episodes, you can't really make it work. Well, we found a way to make it work. And our friends at Kocha Sound brought it home for us. So here's a quick look at the main cast. I'm a big fan of casting Veronica Taylor, Ash from Pokemon as Reborn himself, as the baby hitman whose technique to train hitmen is to kill them, because then they are reborn as stronger hitmen. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I don't know about you guys. But a lot of great names, both new and old, in this cast list. That's another fun thing about this show. Huge cast of characters. There are key episodes from across the series, so you get to meet a lot of different characters and see what they're like. And these are our main cast right here. And here's a big list of our supporting cast. Unfortunately, since there's a few dozen of them, we can't really go through them name by name, but we want to leave these screens up for a little while so you can get screenshots. You can make sure the Anime News Network encyclopedia is updated. Of course, the actors who are appearing in this are excited about it. They're going to be posting about it on their socials. And so if you are a dub fan, if you are a Reborn super fan, please go out and get this when this comes out. It's a really cool little project. It's a way to kind of create an English dub for a show that just isn't really feasible to have an English dub. We found a way to make it work, and I think it's pretty cool. And who knows? Maybe there'll be more special fan discs like this. Maybe something else. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But there's some additional voices. Of course, the fine crew at Kocha Sound, who produced, directed, and mixed it. I did talk a little bit to Brittany, the director and producer, and of course one of the stars of this before this all went down. She said that during development they referred to this as Project Rigatoni. I think that's pretty cute. All right, and
she was a huge fan of this show.
So yeah,
really,
yeah. I was going to say, yeah, she. I think within minutes of us announcing the standard def on Blu-rays, she was already emailing us saying, "Can we dub it? Can we dub it? Can we dub it? Can we dub it?" And sometimes sheer force of will really can make things like this happen. So it's incredibly cool that we're able to do this.
This kind of reminds me of those, you walk into a Walmart or something, and then you see like a, best of this series, and it's like a collection of like 5 episodes or something. Yeah, that's just what it reminded me of. So it is pretty cool.
It's kind of a throwback to like Lupin's Greatest Capers, which
exactly. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think there's real value in having something that is like it's a representative sample of the whole series, and it's a way, like I said, a way to give you a collectible and a version of the show that otherwise could not have happened. So that's something we've been really excited to talk about. I'm glad you've stuck around for this panel, and it's not over yet because we do have a couple of more announcements. Any more thoughts on Reborn, guys, or should I?
Yeah, one thing I want to reiterate real quick is that. This is not. This is like we're not planning to do more of this. We're not planning on dubbing the whole show if it does well. This is just a fun little thing we thought. As Mike said, a special way to maybe make a dub of a show that can't be dubbed in its entirety. It's just too much money, too much time for a company like us to be able to afford. And as a result, we thought that, maybe since, they're big fans of the show, maybe we can do at least some and put it out at least some, just to see how, how a release like that might do. And maybe,
it's a way to meet in the middle. It's sort of a way to meet in the middle, right? Like we can't dub it all, but here's a little bit. Here's what we can do.
We just can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're not trying to ignore you. We've heard you, but like we can't do all of it. But here's a little taste that hey, hopefully this can sort of salve the wound a little bit that we can't do the whole thing, but it's a little bit of it. Plus, it also gets that OVA out there in a way that's not like there's more value to it that it's got 4 episodes on it.
That's right. Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to put that OVA out. It's just too little content.
Yeah.
So doing it this way does help, pad out the disc and give you more content.
Yeah, and there were a ton of weird little like one-shot OVAs that were parts of larger franchises, but were kind of cut off from the main license because maybe they were a pack-in with a manga, or they were just some kind of separate product and weren't included. And I see something like this as a way to maybe go back and see if we can rescue more of those. But who knows?
Right.
Who knows? This is something cool. It's an experiment, and we want to see how it does. We hope you're excited.
Yeah. Like I said before, think of it like you walk into a Best Buy or something. Well, not anymore.
Ugh.
You go to Walmart and you see best of this show, and that's basically what it is really.
Yeah, I mean, WB does it all the time with like Batman and Superman and all those old cartoons. You get like here's Batman's best episodes, and so that's kind of what this is. And like. If you like this format, support it. We would consider doing it for something else. But right now, it's just we'll wait and see.
I will say that it will include the Japanese as well as the English dub. So,
excellent. All right, we want to keep the dream of the 2000s alive for a little bit longer.
Sure thing.
All right, all right. Let's roll an opening to something that may look a little familiar, but we got more of it for you.
う人なに誰も気づかない今ここで僕がふと消えたとしても同じ明日に慣れてしまったら本当の自分知らないまま手遅れになる運命は待つものじゃなく挑んで切り開くものいつだって一人きりでハイヤーグラウンド見上げた空憧れるよここよりもっと険しい道求め続けてくハイヤーグラウンド見下ろす時気づくのだろう昨日よりも広い世界その先にまだ行くべき場所があること教えてくれる
All right. So those are some tight outfits, huh?
At one point during this show, I was like, is nobody in this show allowed to wear a shirt?
Yeah. Or if you're wearing if they're wearing a shirt, it's painted on.
I found it funny looking at the chat how many people didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, there was an actual entire second Kenichi series. It's an OVA series. The Attack of Darkness. And more Kenichi than you can shake your fist at, and yeah, I'm pleased to see that people remember this. This was a fun fighting series of the late 2000s, where the twist was, our main character isn't some genius who knows all the disciplines, but he is the greatest at studying under all these different masters who fight with him. And yeah, this has never officially been released in English before. It was an 11-episode OVA series. It's in Japanese with subtitles, but there's something kind of cool about this release that we've been hoping to show you. So let's roll a couple of minutes from our first episode.
No! Don't do that to a man's beer, especially if he's barely gotten to have a single sip of it.
Sure wish you would let us buy a better TV than this.
To conclude, looking at the world's cycle of death and rebirth proves that the universe itself is cyclical. What do you think? I want you to give me your honest opinion about this.
Please, just kill me! I could never have imagined Ryu's and Paku would have such strength. Although we may not have succeeded in overthrowing you, your precious little disciples will be eliminated by two of our strongest warriors.
Well then, we'll see about that, won't we?
What's with that look in his eyes? It's as if he's not afraid to die. He got inside my guard, but he's not attacking. And what the hell is that stance?
Permission to step forward? Granted!
Worried about your precious dojo?
No, but I think you should be worried about your friend over there! Wings of Refraction!
Tsukasa!
So you guys do have names after all. If she means enough to you that you'd call out for her when she's hurt, I'd say you're more than pawns.
So yeah, that's something that it's coming out in Japanese and a brand new English dub from our pals at Sound Cadence. And as you can hear, most of the original dub cast from the original Kenichi TV series have returned to their roles. So let's have a look at the cast list. So pretty good. A lot of names returning to their roles. Of course, not everyone could return to their role. Some of the actors are not available. There are some that are not with us anymore. But this is the main cast, supporting cast, whole bunch of familiar names, a few new ones. Very exciting stuff. And
our pal Marissa worked really, really hard on this. Really,
yes, indeed. Really yes, indeed. She does. They do excellent work at Sound Cadence, and man, the way the girl character there, Miu, her shirt, the shirts don't work like that, man. Come on. Here are some additional voices filling out the rest of the cast, and they did want to call attention to a special cameo. There is a wrestler who appears in this series called Devil Eater Man. So they thought it would be fun to use a real-life wrestler, Brennan Williams, actually also a former NFL player, who I think wrestles under the name Madden now, like an evocation of football. Cool thing about Brennan Williams is he went to Catholic Memorial High School in the Boston area. They were the rival school of my high school, Boston College High School. So shout out to the rival, making a fun cameo in a great new dub that we helped produce. And of course, here also is the production staff, so you can see all the names that worked on this. And yeah, so 11 episodes of Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple, never before released in English, not just subtitled, but also dubbed. And once again, guys, you can go for it. You can 100% your run of Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple when the OVA finale comes out on video. You'll have the whole thing. Pretty cool, huh?
So cool.
Any thoughts on the dub from you guys? Have you gotten a chance to watch any of it, or?
We should probably mention that.
Maybe we should mention, yeah.
Yeah, the elements
so basically,
that we had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So basically, whenever you get dub materials, they send you either tapes or files that have a track that's only music and only sound effects, so you can mix it with newly recorded dialogue. For this one in particular, they only had one M&E music and effects track, and it was I want to say pretty low quality. So what Sound Cadence did was with their dialogue, they tried to make it sound as not as jarring as possible, and I feel like they did a pretty good job of that, where they started out with some pretty crusty audio and they did their best to make it sound presentable, I think. So because of that, just wanting to let you guys know that it's not the music and sound effects, the quality might differ with the dialogue that's been recorded over that, and just want to be transparent about the materials we received were not the best.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I know up until The Wire, we kept trying to find something, and they just said, this is all we have. And so this is sort of the best it can be. And I mean, the choice was either to not do it or to sort of live with what we have. So that's how it shook out.
Mm-hmm. This also strikes me as a case that you can look at if, a lot of dub fans are like, well, what kind of show do you decide to dub? What is the criteria? This one ticks off a lot of the boxes because it's not a very long show. It has a relatively small main cast, and one of the key things too is it's part of a franchise, and most of those actors are still working in the business and they want to return to their characters. So in a lot of ways, it's very easy to pick something like this back up. It kind of made sense to go after this.
Yeah, I think for Marissa too, part of the fun was that there were a bunch of new characters in this as well, and she could from all around the world that she could pull from actors from all around the world in those roles as well. So I think that's the kind of a fun thing too. There's all these new characters in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did a great job. The dub itself is very well done. Everyone brought their A game. So I think fans of the first two seasons will very much feel at home with what's presented in this new release.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, a lot of information on those slides too. And yeah, we didn't linger on them too long. If you want to check the cast list and the crew lists, we are posting those to our social media as well. So you can circle back and check that stuff out. But those are some new dubs that we've been working on that we're very excited for. Reborn Special Fan Disc and Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple, The Attack of Darkness. Dub fans, please look forward to them. So we're just about there, guys. We did it again. Panel's over. Everything's okay, guys, here. And one thing we've learned is that, you know, we never do something where like we have something at the end that we're like, oh, we're going to get you all worked up all over again. We never do this. Trust us. It's not going to happen. So we should just roll the clip, shouldn't we?
Just do it. Just get
Just
it over
do
with.
it, Mike.
Just
Yeah,
do it.
just rip off the Band-Aid.
I've been looking forward to this all evening.
Me too. Me too.
We all have.
Everyone be quiet. Let's let a reverential hush fall over the crowd, and let's just let this wash over us. I want the Blu-ray just for that trailer. Just to watch that over and over and over again. My God, guys, look at it.
Well, you can watch that trailer over and over and over and over again on the actual Blu-ray, actually.
Yeah, Caleb cut that together the day that he heard that we got this. And I'm like, well, we have to use this. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is very good. Very good. Well done, Caleb.
My favorite thing is that when I learned that we were going to be releasing this, like in my head, never explicated to anyone. I was just like, oh, if Caleb is going to do the trailer, he should totally just do a smash cold open using forces. And that's exactly what he did. I didn't even need to tell him. How did he know? That's so amazing.
It's just common sense.
Yeah.
Just common sense.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that one, the original, the 1997 Berserk, the series that so many of us still love and still talk about today, finally coming to Blu-ray. So this is going to be a good one. Back in print, native HD scan. There's some text screens that are redone. Sounds like
they were originally video text screens.
Oh, okay,
original master, so they make those.
Yeah, so I think, like, for example, the opening and ending credits, they scanned in the credit list and then they recomposited the text with, just digitally,
Yeah, the episode titles, stuff like that.
Nothing abnormal for these HD remasters, honestly.
No,
yeah, this is a late 90s show, so the way they would need to remaster this is, like, get all the little snippets of 35 millimeter negative and scan all of it, and it's like a massive undertaking. Nothing like the 80s or the early 90s or whatever before that. So yeah, it's a pretty good HD remaster. It's the same one that Japan got a while back. So you can expect the video to look quite nice. And it's got the classic dub.
And all of the extras, very important, including those outtakes.
All of them.
People love this dub so much. I mean, this dub actually made several careers.
Yeah, and also, like, for years those actors were called back for the for the new movies that who was it, Studio 4 Degrees C or Production IG made. I don't remember what it was. 4 Degrees, yeah. But yeah, when they did the big deal movies, they had to get the cast back. Really exceptional dubbed version. Just go on and get it. Brady was kind enough to include the artwork, so we can look at that. Any thoughts on the art, Brady?
I jumped at the chance to work on this, and I'm really glad that I got permission to do like the red Blu-ray stripe at the top as well. So like it just sort of felt like it sort of matched the show. But yeah, this show has really awesome artwork. I mean, you really had to give it a nice special touch to make it look cool.
And there's an alternate cover too. There's
a reversible one. Yeah. I'm so glad we got this. I think we got all of the extra features. We scoured as like 3 or 4 different releases, Justin, like between me and you.
Yeah.
We went through a lot of releases to find them.
Yep, the Japanese, all of the Media Blasters releases, the MVM UK Blu-ray, we looked at everything. By the way, somebody asked if this is going to be the same disc as the UK got. No, we made our own. We did our own encoding on this, but it shouldn't be hugely different if you already have that one.
But do they, does the UK Blu-ray also include the extras that we have, or do we have something or more stuff?
We have Caleb's trailer.
Okay, so we have that, and that is very good too.
I actually don't. They have a lot of the same extras. I don't know that it's 100%, but yeah, I mean
it's pretty comparable. I will say though that the subtitles on the MVM, they're not bad, but they're like really thin and like they're not as good as our subtitles. I will say, like our subtitles are definitely a step up, though it's not like if you already have that, you have something bad or anything. But yeah, no, I mean, this is, I think, a dream come true. And this was turned around really quick too. Like we only learned in like November or something that we got this. Like it was pretty late last year, and we really
just, like drop everything.
Yeah.
So
we turned this around fast.
This was the one that Justin and David and everyone on social media kept referring to as the pants filler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, can we
change of clothes?
Can we come up with a description or a metaphor that doesn't involve pooping pants? Perhaps a second turn of phrase. Just a thought.
It's I don't know. I mean, it's a cool show. It's a cool show.
It sure is. It sure is.
Yeah,
and one of my favorite things about it too is when you're talking about, and we turned this around fast. Guys, that secret mystery title coming out in March, that's Berserk. That's going to be available to pre-order pretty dang soon on the Crunchyroll shop and on places like Amazon too.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's going to be hard to beat. So I don't think we will tonight.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. That was the secret last announcement that comes at the end of the main part of the program.
To conclude, you put your grasses on. Nothing will be wrong. There's no blame. There's no fame. It's up to you to buy this Blu-ray.
You were holding
But David, tell me why.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Tell me why. Okay. So in summary, the usual boilerplate. Oh, sorry. Did you? Oh, were you talking about the song?
I was just muttering that song was stuck in my head for weeks after working on this.
That song has been stuck in my head for over 20 years, Justin. Pen balls. Yeah, every time we do one of these, it feels like we've completely exhausted the field. But don't worry, sneaking a peek at the production calendar, we got so much more in the pipeline. If you didn't see anything that really excited you, just keep waiting. We're going to do a few more of these presentations this year. But for this time, the main presentation is 100% complete. Look at that taskbar filling up.
Yay!
Up.
Yeah.
We did it, everyone. So if you guys want to stick around, we can do a little chat and Q&A if you guys are up for it. As usual, the chat turns into a free-for-all. We'll speak to and answer any questions and comments we can. We'll try to tell some interesting stories if we got them, but we can we'll make a little time to talk to you guys. So who wants to go first?
One thing, no licensing questions, please.
Oh yeah. If we haven't announced it, we can't talk about it. You can say, hey, I'd like you to license X, and that's cool. We may notice that and take note of that, but we can't say, oh yes, we'll get right on that, and that will be at our next panel. That's not a thing we can do, guys.
Those will be ignored, as usual.
I mean, we do comment on some things sometimes, but like not often.
Well, if we know for sure we're not getting something, then we'll say we're not getting it.
Yeah. Somebody asked about the JoJo's Stardust Crusaders OVA, and that is not currently available to be licensed by anybody. So that won't be anytime soon, if ever.
That is one of those things that we periodically ask about proactively, and it's not on the market.
And I would love to get that back in print because it's so rare.
Someone has already asked about Urusei Yatsuda, Beautiful Dreamer. Is it officially out of print? We are in never say die mode on that one. Not much room for hope, but we still got some. That's all I'll say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I have to pop this chat out so I can follow it.
Yeah, it's quite fast.
Yeah.
Mark put it on slow mode, so they can only ask questions every 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay.
So,
a person. So that's just how many people are asking questions.
Who's hotter,
Brady,
Guts or Griffin? Oh, obviously Guts.
Brady, I think somebody asked, will the Berserk plastic case actually be red?
Well, that's a good question.
No, it won't. It will not
just,
be red.
just the slip cover.
Just the slip cover, yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like those red Blu-ray cases are really hard to source. We tried to do that on help me, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and we just couldn't source that red case, and it would just be way more expensive. But yeah, so we can't really do that. But I mean, if you can get a red case, you can make it all match. But yeah, it's just they're hard to source. They're hard to source in the numbers that we would need them to do to print it that way.
I did see someone ask if the IGPX Micro Series was on the remastered Blu-ray set. Do we have the answer to that?
Yes, it's like all of them. It's like every version of that you could ever want is on there. There's like 3 or 4 different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a kitchen sink disc if ever there was one.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got interviews with like Mark Hamill and
yes,
Michelle
Rodriguez too.
Yeah, all this. It is as packed and more as the original release. We even the showrunner director, he did a new commentary for the first episode as well. So there's like in Japanese in its subtitled. So like, there's a lot of cool stuff on that release, more so than our old DVD, which was packed already.
Someone asks, would Crunchyroll allow more of their stuff to be released by you? Not likely.
Once again, someone asked about Reborn being a test dub. I want to be clear here once more and say there are no plans to further dub it, regardless of how well it sells. It's just one of those little fun things that we wanted to try out, see how, if we can bring back that like little best of collection sampler kind of disc that was popular. I want to say, when were those popular anyway? They're not anymore for sure.
Early to mid 2000s, when there were video stores you could buy them at.
Yeah, but at this time there is no plans to go any further with it.
Yeah, I think, and again, this is pure speculation on my part, but I think that the more likely scenario would be trying to use that fan disc model to rescue a short OVA of a larger franchise.
Yeah. Right.
That I mean that's also akin to like what we did with Gunbuster and stuff too, right? Like that's a short OVA.
Yeah.
For Berserk, the Satoshi Kon music video is on there, right? Somebody asked about that.
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty sure
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If it was previously released in any form on a previous edition of Berserk, it's on there.
Like I think the only things that didn't carry over is if there was like art galleries or something, but we couldn't really put those on there because they're like standard def and they're like all MPEG-2 garbled, so you couldn't really do those.
Yep.
Give us something good, guys.
A lot of stuff we can't talk
about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see a lot of people asking when Belladonna of Sadness is coming. We don't have a firm date for that yet now, right? It's, that's another one that's it's in the pipeline. We haven't forgotten about it. We haven't punted it. It's just not ready yet.
The disc is done for that one. It's just the I mean, only recently finished the packaging because it took a while to restore the artwork for that one. Just because of how that movie is, the artwork is a little more like detailed and it's different than most anime art. So it took a while to restore it, but that's all in Mr. Discotek's hands right now. So like he's sending it off to be approved. So hopefully soon. And that disc looks beautiful. Oh my god, it looks great.
Oh, that's interesting.
How do you choose when to use AstroRes versus normal upscales? And I can't tell you about the difference in price, but basically there are certain things that look good with a normal upscale, and there are certain things that look good with an AstroRes upscale, and there's a Venn diagram, and there's not a ton of overlap. There's definitely some masters we get in and we're like, well, AstroRes, and that's especially if they have like very thin line work like IGPX and
Lovely Complex.
Lovely Complex. Yeah, stuff that would just kind of get turned into mush by our normal methods. And then there are things that, like, especially things that originate on film, that we need to maintain a little bit of a softer look because that's what it originally looked like. And in that case, if it's clean enough, we do a regular upscale. So it's always this little balancing game of knowing very well what the different techniques are good at.
Yeah, I mean, IGPX is very flat and the backgrounds are very flat. So when doing Astro Res, it didn't really wipe away any of the balance really is that when you do like an Astro Res upscale, it has to be very clean and flat. Otherwise it's going to like wipe away some of the background detail, right? And sometimes other detail too. And you don't really want that. And so you have to kind of like judge what is best to use on it. For instance, when we did Sherlock Hound, there are sequences in Sherlock Hound that were did not exist anymore in HD, and so we had to upscale those, and we had to use like a completely different model on those because the backgrounds in that are paintings, right? So like it would have flattened it too much to probably use Asteres on that. So like we did another upscale technique on that. Same with Cyber 6. Cyber 6 was super clean and digital, but the backgrounds were very painted back. Like they were all actually hand painted backgrounds. I think they scanned them in. So like I feared looking at it that it would change the look of the show if we did Astros on that. And also it's a very like digitally grainy show as well. So we ended up that was just a regular upscale, and it ends up in that case it ended up looking like almost like a native HD show that way because of the way it was created. And I don't think Cyber 6 would have benefited from Astro-Res. It probably would have looked okay, but like I don't think it would have benefited from it.
Okay.
Someone did. I want to jump in because someone did point out. Hey, you mentioned Kamen Rider Black being streaming on Crunchyroll, but I can't find it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I screwed that up. I must have dreamed that, man. It's been a long couple of weeks, and I thought I saw it somewhere, but I guess I didn't. So I apologize in advance for the next 6 months of questions of, hey, where is this streaming? I thought you said this was streaming. Get out the yaoi paddle, give me a spanking. That was a slip of the tongue on my part. Sorry for the mental image, guys.
That's an image in my head now.
Yeah.
I want to answer a few questions. So somebody asked, is doing your own commentary something that you are considering? And lo and behold, we have. We actually the Belladonna of Sadness release coming soon actually has a commentary track by our one and only yaoi paddle fan, Mike Toole.
I didn't accidentally make up any facts about Kamen Rider streaming on that commentary. I can tell you that much. It's kind of a story about how the film was made and the waning days of Mushi production. Very interesting. A lot of it was chronicled by the director himself in a book that he wrote, a fictionalized account of it that is actually less fictional than you'd think. I tried to include as much interesting information about it as I could. But yeah, I'm asked to do one of these commentaries every year or two. I think my favorite one that I've done is, I think you can still get Arcadia of My Youth, the Captain Harlock movie, on Blu-ray from Discotek. I've got a big commentary on that one. A very long film and lots of stories to tell about Harlock and about how that movie came to be. But that's something cool that we definitely do sometimes. The commentary tracks are a very cool feature.
The thing that sticks with me about the thing that sticks with me about that Harlock one is I remember there's a part where you say Harlock doesn't brook no bitch slap, and I always remember that.
That's right. Because one of the commanders tries to bitch slap him, and he catches the guy's hand and hurts him.
His wrist, I remember he's like,
so badass.
Harlock don't brook no, Harlock don't brook no bitch slap. But we've had a bunch of commentaries on recent releases. Cyber 6, I got the original writers to do commentaries on their episodes because they were written by Canadian writers. So, and Kathy Weslock, who plays Cyber 6, also did commentaries for that as well. Plus, I'm on there too. I did some behind the scenes sort of liner note commentaries for Cyber 6 as well. And IGPX is just full of all the vintage ones and completely new ones from all the creators and stuff as well. Like I said, like Hongo-san, who was the director, is on IGPX, on the IGPX side, or on the IG cut side of it.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few commentaries on IGPX, aren't there? both new and old ones.
Yeah, I think there's like 20 some. And that's all our buddy Jose did all the legwork to do those because he is the number one IGPix fan.
Yeah, and some Lupin stuff also does have commentaries too, huh? Like part 1, I think, has a few of them.
Part 1, part 2, Cagliostro for sure does. There's on Bye Bye Lady Liberty has a mic one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That was my first Discotek project. Reed Nelson recruited me to be his co-commentator for Bye Bye Lady Liberty. I can list off a few more of them. I did a commentary for Rigging Bell, which was a DVD film. I'm not sure that's still in print.
That's one of my favorites. That was one of my early.
Our DVDs too. Our DVDs are all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
So somebody's asking if Tomorrow's Joe is coming back. That recently went out of print. I'm afraid not. It's once that's gone, it's gone.
Part 2 is still in print, right? Not part 1.
Yes, I believe it is. That still has a while left on it.
Yeah, that's like a completely different licensor as well. TMS is too.
Yeah, it moved. They moved production studios.
So someone asks, is there any Detective Conan news at all? And unfortunately, just like every stream, we have to remind you that most of what happens with Conan is not an us thing, it's a TMS thing. And right now, I think that TMS doesn't really see much value in bringing Conan over to the US. As much as, I know there are fans of it, there's definitely an interest in Detective Conan in the US, but aside from the movies that we've been able to put out until now, it's just not been very, TMS. It's definitely something you have to make TMS aware of, that there's a lot of actual interest in it, because I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not up to us; it's up to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every time that there's an attempt to bring Conan stateside, there's a hope that it'll just completely blow up like it did in Japan. And, that if that doesn't really happen, it's one of those things where it's like, well, should we keep trying this method, or should we just, pack it in for a little bit and try again in a few years with a different strategy? So, there's a lot to weigh over there when it comes to that, because there's a hope that it can be huge. I don't know how realistic that is.
I don't know.
What do I know?
It's really, if they're trying to, the expectation is to get it as popular as it is in Japan, it's completely not going to happen at all. I mean, Detective Conan in Japan is like a cultural, it's ingrained in the culture. A movie comes out every spring break. Even if you don't like anime, everybody knows what Detective Conan is. It's just it's persistent.
It's like clockwork. Every spring a movie comes out and it makes at least $60 million. I think the last couple have made quite a bit more than that too.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure some of them are like the best grossing of their years or something like that. I don't quote me on it, but like they make a lot of money there.
Yeah, and which and if you think about it, like TMS's two big properties are Conan and Lupin, and Lupin is probably more popular here than Conan is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's just sort of how it happens sometimes, right? Like that something else hits over here more than it does in Japan.
I will say though, they have been dubbing the some episodes of the show and putting them on like Tubi or something like that.
Yeah, Tubi. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's interesting.
Which is interesting.
Well, their approach is interesting because they retain some of the leads from Los Angeles, but then use the supplemental cast from a studio in Miami, and so it's yet another approach to dubbing. Yeah.
Somebody asked if Digimon Season 1 is out of print, the dub, and it is not out of print. It's just people are buying it a lot, so it will be reprinted soon, hopefully. But it's not. Digimon is definitely not out of print. It's just
these things take a while, and with the Christmas crush at the Replicator, reprints are taking a while too. So
yeah, I mean, just a lot of people are buying Digimon. Like I think we're probably. I think Mark told me we're on the 4th printing of Digimon of some manner. So yeah,
that's impressive.
Wow, that's damn impressive.
These aren't small print runs either.
Yeah. I saw I saw a few people mention the Sailor Moon pretty PGSM, the live action tokusatsu. I said this before on a different stream. I did ask about it and got back with the information that it is not available for licensing at this time to anybody, so we can't get it.
And that's not abnormal for a company to do. Like sometimes they'll just block off old versions when they have a new version going. Which
they just take it off the market. It's purely a marketing strategy for them, and the best we can do, and we do, is to just ask again in a year or two.
Yeah, and Sailor Moon especially is a franchise that is very very tight control from the original author. Yeah. So it might be
more
that
so
they're
Digimon.
holding it up as well. Yeah, it might be that might be influenced by that as well.
Somebody asked if the Digimon movies 1 through 3 release will have the Digimon the movie version from 2000, and the answer is yes. God, yes. I spent so many hours restoring that. It better be on there.
So
Somebody
what
asked,
is the? Oh, sorry. Go for it. Sorry.
I was going to say, somebody asked if crowdfunding dubbing the rest of Reborn is an option. No, it is not, because in order to make that worthwhile and to make that possible, we would have to raise well in excess of what any anime Kickstarter has ever done ever. It would be well into the millions. So, nope, not possible. 200 episodes, inexpensive. Sorry.
Yeah, like, I mean, what did they raise for Dirty Pair? And that's only like 40 some episodes or something, right? Like
26.
26, yeah. So and that was a huge thing in itself. Like,
and they're still not done dubbing it.
Yeah, it's infeasible to dub that many through a crowdfunding campaign. Like if it was like a 26 or something, like that's doable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think people just forget that voice actors are like actual actors, and the expectation to pay them is like an actual Hollywood actor. Maybe not like an A-lister or anything.
Well, even if it's non-union,
there's a whole cast.
Even if it's a non-union production, the actors do expect to get something approaching scale, which is a few $100 for a session.
Yeah, we try to pay even the non-union stuff. We still try and pay actors what they're worth money worth their time. We try to pay them money worth their time.
Yeah.
Somebody asked somebody asked if the Angela Anaconda short will be on Digimon the movie, and that one is a no, because we just don't have a license. We don't have the rights to that.
Separate license. Oh, we have to do an Angela Anaconda special fan disc. That's what we need to do.
Oh God, please, no.
Guaranteed to sell in the tens.
We would never ever do an AI dub ever. Don't even bring that up. We would never do that.
Is the Reborn OVA that is dubbed the Reborn Here Comes of Uncle the Family Style School Trip? Yes, that is exactly the OVA that will be on the fan disc. I see people commenting on Canadian distribution, and I think Justin explains our stance on that pretty well. So would you like to?
We understand your struggle. However, at the quantity that we would have to import discs into Canada, the price would probably be pretty much the same for you as it would be for us. So you would end up paying that anyway. So it's really, unfortunately, not worth the insane logistical effort to make that happen, because it wouldn't really lower anyone's prices. So, sorry.
Yeah, essentially, like, you pay your $30 and your high shipping, right? Well, then the MSRP would go up, and then the shipping would be cheaper, so it would just be equal. Like,
yeah,
it's tough.
The trying to make something happen in Canada subject is really frustrating to me, because I love Canada, and I know that proportionally there are a lot of anime fans there in a smaller population country, but it's just like no one seems to have been able to figure out how to really make that work, and we're not really equipped to at this time.
Our friend Kenny asks, why don't we print brand new VHS tapes? So we actually looked into this and quickly laughed it off, because just to duplicate them without any packaging, it's $8 a copy.
Whoa.
The idea of paying $8 to copy a single VHS tape just made us laugh uncontrollably, and we're just like, nope.
Kenny, you want to go back to the 80s and pay $120 per VHS tape?
The thing is, nowadays, if a label is making a VHS run, it is usually extremely limited, like not even 100 units made, and they're sold for a lot of money. So like it's like a collectible, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's a curio.
It's sold at a very big premium.
It's incredibly fun to think of, but yeah.
Didn't we also ask the boss man, and he was like, "I'm not going to be part of the problem. Sorry."
I think he said that exact thing. Yeah. I did see someone ask
honestly,
if
nobody.
Oh, you go ahead, Justin. We're still on the subject.
Okay, nobody wants VHS tapes to the point that Goodwill won't even take donations at this point.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I did see someone ask, well, okay, so are the DVDs of Hurricane Polymer and the Kashan OVAs out of print? Yeah, I'm pretty sure every DVD release of ours is officially out of print now, right? Whatever stock is left out in the wild is it.
I'm not sure if it's every.
Yeah, not everyone.
It's
but
everything now.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it everything? Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, we took the DVD section off the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think Kashan's been out of print for a long time anyway. But everything that was left that he was still doing. Because I think part of the problem with it as well is that it's very, very hard to get DVD cases anymore.
I did see someone
multi-disc cases, yes.
Like one of the reasons why we even did IGPX on Blu-ray to begin with is because we could not source the 10-disc case anymore.
Someone asking if Monster Farm, which we previously released on subtitled on DVD, that's the Monster Rancher original title, would come out on SD Blu-ray. No, that's a definite no. That was not a super successful one for us.
Yeah, most likely not. That one did not sell very well on DVD. And honestly,
that was one of the shows that convinced us that subtitled kids shows are kind of a gamble.
Really heavy lift, yeah.
That show is why it took me 2 years to convince him to do Sonic X. Luckily, that has sold really well. But I mean, that show was a lot. Like it's, a lot of episodes of subtitles. There's like what 70 some episodes of Monster Rancher. And when you spend all that money on translation, subtitles, and timing and all that, and it doesn't make back, it's hard to do more of that,
I saw somebody ask, is there a... Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, yeah, there's somebody asked about Hurricane Polymer, the live-action movie. I will say that the disc for that is complete. It is done, but we are waiting for final okay and final thumbs up before sending that out to replication also. So,
looking at social media, and someone is suggesting we should have a tally of suspensions of streams.
That's number 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, Cyber 6 Blu-rays go back into print. I am almost positive that will be reprinted. So yeah, that should be reprinted at some point. Again, December slows everything down for replication, so just wait a little bit longer. But like, I don't think that's already gone. I mean, that literally just came out a couple months ago, so I don't think that's gonna go out of print that quick.
What are the chances of finishing the Orgus dub? 0.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those, if I had $1 million, 100% chance, but since I don't have $1 million, 0% chance. Sorry.
Yeah, if
you had, you can even reunite that cast.
Oh, they'd do it. I think you could even get Steve Bloom as like the weird Jamaican dinosaur alien back.
You just have to. I mean, yeah, we were able to get Steve for Digimon, who just had to do it Union.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, yes, but what garage would we record in?
We have to go to like whoever bought Les's old house and go to his garage, because it literally was recorded in Les's garage.
Yeah.
Justin, there's a Saint Seiya tweet. You want to say something about it? Or Saint Seiya a comment?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
I will say
Yep.
this one. So, and Justin can correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody asked about Dominion Tank Police, and that is one where the owner has like went out of business and it's unattainable. Correct? Like that's not
They
able
haven't
to
gone
be
out of
licensed.
business. They have just been reorganized so many times. They don't do anime anymore, and nobody at that division of Toshiba knows about the anime that they made. And so when we cold emailed them, they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry."
So it's one of those situations where they own something, but they don't know that they own it essentially, and so they don't want to even deal with it.
And-
Gotcha.
Well, that the thing with licensing that people have to understand is it's not just a we own it, sure I can sell it to you sort of thing. They have to have the paperwork to see who they have to pay residuals to, who gets sign off privileges on any new deals. Like if they don't know where the paperwork is, it's just they can't license it. So for them to not even know that they have it, let alone where the paperwork is, completely screwed. Just completely screwed.
I mean, that's the same with the Sonic OVA. Sega owns it, and they know they own it. We're going to license it, but they don't know the paperwork for the music and the voices. They don't know who they have to pay residuals to on it, and we're kind of at like that's at like a log jammers where they don't know where that is, so it can't be licensed out beyond Japan, where it's like I think in Japan it's still available on like streaming, but like it can't be licensed out outside of there because they don't know who to pay or what to pay them, which is a big big thing.
The Rimic World OVAs are unlicensable, right? Right. I actually don't know why entirely, but they are. We've asked and we have been told.
Can you guys talk about any of the extras Nanaha Season 1 will have? Yes, I can talk about that. There's a lot, so forgive me if I'm forgetting anything, but there's clean opening, clean ending. There's some, I think there's some interviews. There's a premiere event or something like that, I think. There's like a picture drama thing too, where it's like characters from the franchise just having fun and talking to each other, like an audio drama kind of, but they have illustrations. What else is there? Yeah, so there's a press conference too. There's commercials. There's a promo video that was used in stores and stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot. There's a lot on there. And like I said, I can't talk about the extras for Nanaha A's just yet, but we're hoping we can include just as many when it comes to how many we can put on there.
Jeff asked me what it was like to have a do-over on Kurokami, which was not so famously the first Blu-ray that I ever made, and I did not know what I was doing. And it was also at licensor insistence, it was dub only. Yeah, feels good, man. It's feels good to rub out your old mistakes that nobody bought, so people can buy your new mistakes.
Yeah, it's quite a nice disc now. Yeah. I saw somebody ask earlier about what the costs for like 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, like digitization is. And to answer that question, I think that it very, very much depends on obviously the length of what you're doing or what you have, the lab you're sending it to. In Japan, there's not many labs out there these days. Especially there was the big three. There was Tokyo Lab, which is now doesn't exist. There's Imagica, and there's Toei Labo is what they're called now, and those are basically the only three that do film scanning on a professional level because of the the whole copyright situation. In Japan, independent shops that do film scanning will not usually take copyrighted material because of how strict their laws are. So if you want to do anything that's like copyrighted, then your only way is to go through these big corporations, and if you don't own the rights, they're not going to do it for you. So, yeah, in Japan,
Tojin was the only one that would do it, right? Like they're the only ones who would scan stuff for you, and then they.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Tojin was like the last of those big three that would do that, right? That would take.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Toei has their own lab; they just do everything themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Although we did commission those, the Crying Freeman and Goku Midnight Eye scans from them, and their lab helped us out there, as well as Q-Tech, which is now called Coop. Then, you know, I mean, if we can, we'll send it to somebody that I know personally who gives us really good rates. But if we're doing anything that's from the licensor, then there's just no other chance but to do it through them. And you know, it's pretty costly, actually. Especially if you want to do restoration and color correction on in addition to that, that's an additional cost. And then there's you know, like inspection fees and cleaning fees and all that stuff. Yeah. Range of price, I can't really say. I mean, it's just so it's so different with everything. If it's a movie or an OVA, they're all different lengths. I will say that a lot of shops, they do per foot, or they'll do per minute. It really just depends, you know, and it just depends on who's doing it and what it is. So, I mean, I can't really give a specific range of prices or whatever.
All right.
Someone asked if the Sergeant Frog movies and Flash series are possible. No. No, they will not be released by us.
Somebody asked, are there more American cartoons coming? And there's at least one that's in the pipeline. Can't say what it is, but yes, there's some more American cartoons coming. Somebody keeps asking about the JoJo's Phantom Blood movie, and considering that movie, they won't even release it in Japan. Like, I don't think that, you know, they won't re-release in Japan. I don't think there's really much of a chance of us getting that.
Yeah, I think the only way someone will ever find it is like on a film print somewhere.
Yeah.
Can't talk about stuff that we did for other companies on this stream.
Yep. What are our thoughts of stores like Best Buy ending sales of physical media?
I mean, that was short-sighted of them, I think.
I think so too. It's weird, and it's just like I don't get it, man. It's like I realize that they don't sell like they used to, and they're never going to get back to a certain level again. But I don't think that there's no market for them. I don't think that you should just sacrifice their slots for just more as seen on TV crap. You know.
Well, they did such a horrible job curating that section.
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
Nobody would go there for their Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I mean, you would never be able to find stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, it's things like that that also make me think of, like, occasionally I'll go into Target and I'll be like, oh, let me browse for what Blu-rays they have, and what they almost always have is just a section that is a few new releases, but mostly empty slots because they sold out of what they ordered and they didn't order a second batch because they just don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
so, it's frustrating.
I mean, Walmart still has a pretty big selection of home video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think the loss of Best Buy is really a huge thing to me personally.
Brady, when was the last time you were in Walmart? Because the Walmarts local to me do not have much Blu-ray and DVD at all.
Oh, like a week before Christmas. They have
really? Okay.
Yeah, here they have at least
Wow.
two to three big rows of it.
Yeah,
they like overlaps with, and then they have the bargain bin still here. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean bargain bins are great, but it's. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a Boston thing, but there are specialty stores that I go to now. Like Bull Moose Records is terrific for new home video. They're a little bit up north of Boston in New Hampshire and Maine. But like for the big box stores, it's just getting more and more challenging. I mean, and it's challenging on both ends. They can be tough to deal with if you're selling home video to the stores. They some odd stuff dealing with them. But yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't.
I mean, I mostly go to a place called Retro Replay here that is a video game place, but they sell a lot of used Blu-rays, and that's where I get my deals. I took David there actually, and they have a huge selection there. Huge selection there.
Found
And they
some
have,
cool
like,
stuff.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool like VHSs that are like reasonably priced too. So like, you know, you have to look. You have to know where to look.
We even found Gunbuster tapes there.
Oh yeah, I got the first tape of Gunbuster while I was there.
Here's an interesting one. How has remastering technology improved over the years, and why have the Vault remasters from us look so amazing compared to earlier ones? It really all comes down to the technology, you know, the scanner itself. Back when they just started doing HD remasters in the late 2000s, they were working off telecine machines from the 90s mostly. And so it took maybe about to the mid 2010s where scanners like, scanning companies like Ari and Laser Graphics started putting out like scanners that, first of all, wouldn't scan just interlaced, because that was also a thing, but ones where you can get so much more detail out of even a print, because a lot of these machines were made for negative scanning but not for print scanning. So when you scan a negative on it, it looks good, but if you scan a print, then it looks really bad, really contrasty. So it really took a long time for them to figure out how to strike a balance between, for prints especially, to get as much detail out of it as possible. And for the Vault releases, we have used these the companies have used these more modern scanners. And so remasters that are coming out like nowadays, like in the past 5 years or so, have been a lot better than earlier ones for that reason, because most of the time they're using back then they were using outdated technology, and it took a while to develop new technology to replace it. And you have to consider the fact that replacing these scanners that they have is a lot of money, a lot of investment. These scanners cost well into the six figures, so it's a lot of investment and a lot of pouring money into something that's archival, so it doesn't really particularly make much money in the first place. So that's a lot of stuff they had to consider. But nowadays, the technology is getting better, and thanks to the Japanese labs having this updated technology now, we're able to get these remasters looking like breathtaking, wonderful. So yeah.
I mean, and on top of that too, the scanning's better. Like, there's also the idea of those older scans where there are portions of that are all only SD, and so you have to upscale those portions. Well, upscaling technology has gotten way better, so that's why that stuff looks better too, right? Like, I don't know if we could have done Sherlock Hound, like 7 or 8 years ago, because like we wouldn't be able to match the footage like we did with the upscaled bits, like it's all the technology has gotten better, and that's why things are looking way better.
I will say also it depends also on the skill of the operator. A lot of these people working on these machines are very, very talented, and I don't think they get enough credit. They're like, in Japan at least, they are never credited on anything, which is a shame. Not even not the scanner, not the colorist, nobody really. It's interesting, but we try to give everyone credit where credit is due, and so it's quite up to both technology, the level of it, and also how the skill of whoever is doing the work. Go figure.
We have asked about that Lupin the Eighth pilot before, and I don't think that's available. I can't be 100% on that, but I don't think that was.
It was released on like a weird secret file disk in Japan.
So it's on the master file. Blu-ray.
Master file.
Yeah, I have that Blu-ray. I have that Blu-ray, but I don't know if that's available, and it might be down to the rights issues with it outside of Japan.
It may not be totally under TMS's control outside of Japan.
Yeah. Because in fact, if you watch it, it says it's like Arsene and Friends is what the title on the episode says it's called. So
Somebody is asking, is the Angel Cop dub supposed to be mono? Yes. Most of those old UK dubs were done in mono or in a stereo that is so not stereo that you might as well just call it mono.
They were still using Rhythmo Band dubbing in like 1996.
Yeah, they were really behind the times.
What are you talking about? That's awesome.
I mean, I love it, but they make Rhythmo Band plugins for Pro Tools now.
Oh, I got to check that out. I did not know that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Maritza about it, and she's tried it.
Those UK dubs are Kino. I agree.
Have we ever personally made license requests to the boss man? Not requests so much as suggestions, but he listens to us about as much as he listens to everyone else.
Yeah,
That's not
I
true.
mean,
He listens to us occasionally.
there's only like a few things that are like on my wish list per se, but I just know that, I mean, not interested. You're not interested.
The one I do know that I directly influenced was You Are Umaso, because he didn't know it existed, and I told him it existed, and then he was like, "Oh, okay," and then he licensed it.
Yeah,
because it was like one of those weird ones, like nobody knew it existed, I think, and so we got that one.
He has very broad tastes and gets excited about a lot of stuff, and he's remarkably patient too. Like I want to say, like Hajime no Ippo took like 4 or 5 years to get done, and that was almost entirely him. Like he's way into that show.
Yeah.
He also takes a lot into consideration what he hears at conventions when he's out there like selling. He will listen to what people are like asking for, and that will usually give him an idea. But in the end, it's whatever he wants to get, not what we want.
Yeah. Somebody asked if my brain just went away. There was a question. Oh, IGPX, that's it. Somebody's asking if IGPX subtitles will have the Japanese names. And that is no, and that is a licensor stipulation. We definitely asked about that, and we were not allowed to do that.
In fact, there was a chance that we could have, maybe, but in the end it was rejected anyway, so.
Yeah.
Here's one. I'm unfamiliar with the in-joke from the Twitter hints. Why exactly will Saint Seiya never be released by Discotek? The short story is that historically they've tried to bring Saint Seiya over multiple times. We have tried to bring it over multiple times, 3 times in fact. The movies on DVD, Saint Seiya The Lost Canvas on DVD, and the movies on Blu-ray. And every time, for not just us, but for other companies trying to bring it over, it's always been a massive flop. And it's just not, the cost of licensing that show, because it's pretty big in Japan and elsewhere, is just not, we don't think it's lucrative enough to go for it. It's just not going to sell. It never has in the US. And I know that it's massive in Latin America. People love that Spanish dub, but unfortunately, most of the time we don't get the rights to the Spanish dubs anyway. So we, even if we wanted to, we wouldn't be able to include that on a Blu-ray from us. So there goes that side of the fans, and I know a lot of people want it, but it's just not possible. We've tried, we've given it our fair shot, just as other companies have given it their fair shot in the past. But time and time again, it's proven that Saint Seiya is not the American market is there's a lack of an American market for it. Just say.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys. Yeah. I'll tell you a story about this. So I did video game packaging for 10 years or something, and we did Bamco's Namco Bandai's packaging, and for every game I ever did for 10 years, we would do either English. It would be English, French, or English, Spanish on all the packaging, right? And there was one point where I did the package for a Knights of the Zodiac / Saint Seiya game, and it was the only game I ever did that was Spanish only packaging. And so that was how little faith they had that would do well in English back then. It was like a PS3 game or something. But they just they realized that it would not sell here.
Yeah,
didn't they recently try to redub it on Netflix or something too, and that just didn't...
They dubbed the entire show, all like 120 episodes, and within a year it was taken off Netflix because it just didn't do their numbers.
And it sucked for Netflix too, I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
If Netflix can't, if they can't even make it work, then how could we? You know,
they pay a lot of money for dubbing too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they did it. It really showed ambition, and I think it's as a catalog thing. Like if they can keep that out there, it will eventually earn out, but it's going to take a long time, and that's not going to be able to justify more moves like that, unfortunately.
Well, they already pulled it. What David said, right? Like,
well, pulled it from Netflix,
but now it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as long as they can keep, they're the master licensor. As long as they can keep getting that out there to some of these larger portals,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
revenue will come trickling in.
Between the time that they pulled it from Netflix and put it on Crunchyroll was like a long time too. So for a while, it was unavailable.
Yeah.
But that's your Saint Seiya answer. It's just
it's just not going to happen. I love Saint Seiya personally. I grew up with it as a Latino, but yeah, I mean, I understand just how not workable it is in the US. It came too late. You know what I mean? It was introduced to the market way too late.
People are asking.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just somebody's asking about printed liner notes, and it's just cost-based. I mean, we used to do some pack-in little things, like inserts and stuff like that, but it's cost-based, and it makes it harder to reprint it. And then the downside is people complain when you do a reprint without the inserts, and even if we only intended to do them for the first print. So that's why we don't see anything like that anymore, unfortunately.
Someone asks, is Berserk the shortest licensed date to street date? Yeah, pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just literally, we got the license, we got to work on it like immediately, and it was done like within 2 months or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it so happened that we had something get moved back on the schedule, right? Too, that it just sort of slotted in. We were able to slot it in early as well.
I will say though that that we've wanted it for a long time, and it took a long time to get. But once we got it, it was very quick.
Yeah, I mean, I did the packaging in like 2 days after we. Like everybody was excited to work on it for sure.
Yeah. I keep seeing a question about Digimon Adventure 02 at the beginning. We do not have the license for that.
Yeah, anything brand new, we generally don't even attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who licensed it, but it's not us. And they put it out in theaters, I think, already in the US too.
So most of these questions are turning into, why don't you license this? If you have questions, please don't make them those.
Yeah, we can't answer them.
Yeah, we can't. We literally cannot talk about stuff that we haven't announced, guys.
I'm seeing some that I would love to give like the vague jerkbag answer to, but that wouldn't be fair to you. Won't do it.
Any old DVDs getting SD Blu-rays? I mean, I think there's some on the schedule, right? But like not that we can talk about.
Yeah, there are some coming.
But yeah, so
definitely a handful that we're worth redoing.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's asking, which version of the Berserk opening was remastered? Actually, I don't know off the top of my head. Do you know, Brady?
No, I'm not sure.
Because only one version was remastered. I don't know which one it was.
There was the original one, and then there was like the Encore one or something.
Right, the Encore one I know was presented in SD.
Yeah, I think they're, because like looking at the original SD, it remember that Berserk was a show that was edited originally on videotape, right? So in order to remaster it, they had to scan every snippet of film and re-edit it all completely, and this includes the opening. So I don't think I don't think it like matches either one like exactly, because there's going to be differences in like, you know, maybe an effect, maybe, you know, the text is all completely redone too. So you know, you have the good thing is you have the remastered HD opening, and then there is an SD opening as an extra on the disc too. So you have like both versions, I guess.
Would you ever consider being more transparent with sales figures so people know what series need more help with? No, absolutely not. We absolutely cannot do that for multiple reasons. The biggest one being Japan would hate it. Also,
Big time.
we often don't really know immediately. These things take a while to sell through at retail, and we have to wait to see, you know, what gets reordered, etc. And yeah, it's just, you don't do that.
And it's a trade secret. Would be tipping off our competitors.
Yeah.
And I also say this.
There's a million reasons not to do that.
Yeah.
I'll also say this. If you're a fan of something and it comes out, you know, we are a small company. We don't print billions of these. If you like something, buy it. Don't wait for it to be out of print and then be mad that you didn't buy it before, because like it's if it's just going to sit there, it's going to have to be. It's not going to get relicensed, and we can't print more of it. And then, so don't sit on the things you like. And it's also the fact that like these things go on sale and stuff all the time. So it's not like there's not a chance to buy it when it's in print for a reasonable price. So like, don't sit on things that you like. Buy it, because it's not going to always be there. That's just how home video works.
Yeah, I mean, even compared to other anime companies.
I'm starting to see a lot of repeats in the chat, so I think it might be about time to pack it in.
Guys, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I mean, it is the turn of the hour, so it is the turn of the hour. Yeah.
All right,
yes, Konosuba is after
joining us, guys.
Yep, this has been fun. Thanks for joining us. We still have 800 people watching us, so
yeah, wow.
Thanks for sticking around.
Kind of late already.
Yeah, we had a lot of bumps and twists and turns tonight. You've been very patient with us, and hope you're excited for what's to come.
We sure are.
All right, have a great night, everyone.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Signing off.
See you. Thank you.
Gonna
for
kill that.